Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into a massive business case study. We're talking about one of the biggest tech companies in the world, Samsung, facing a huge crisis that's not coming from a competitor, it's coming from inside the company itself.
All right, to really get what's happening to Samsung, you have to start here, on the global battlefield for making computer chips. Now, in this market, Samsung is sitting at just 12% market share. Meanwhile, its biggest rival, TSMC, has a whopping 62%. This isn't just a gap, it's a canyon. And really, it's the biggest, most obvious symptom of a much, much deeper problem.
So why the huge gap? Well, that market share number is basically a clue that Samsung is a giant that's at war with itself. The company is, for all intents and purposes, split into two gigantic divisions. And right now, they are pulling in completely opposite directions.
And this, right here, this is where you can see the fundamental tension inside the company. You've got the mobile and consumer side, the part that makes the Galaxy phones we all know, bringing in most of the revenue. But the semiconductor division, the chip-making side, is the real profit engine. It's generating over 60% of the company's profit. So you have one half that drives all the fame and the sales, and the other half that's quietly making all the money.
Now, for decades, this split wasn't a problem at all. In fact, it was Samsung's superpower. The company's entire success was built on one single brilliant strategy. But, and this is the crazy part, that very same strategy is now completely broken, and it's threatening to tear the whole company apart. That superpower? It's called vertical integration. The idea is actually pretty simple. Own every single piece of your supply chain. So Samsung didn't just assemble its phones. No, it built its own screens, its own memory, and crucially, its own processor chips to power them. This was their secret weapon. It let them build better stuff, faster, and cheaper than pretty much anyone else.
But recently, that secret weapon just spectacularly backfired. Their own in-house Exynos chips, well, they just couldn't keep up. They weren't as fast, they weren't as efficient as the competition. So, for its most important product, the flagship Galaxy S25 phone, the mobile division had to make a really painful call. They dropped their own chip and used one from a rival, Qualcomm. And this just kicked off a vicious cycle. All of a sudden, the chip factory lost its biggest and most important customer, which was its own sister division down the hall.
And this really gets to the heart of the crisis. As the Financial Times put it so well, this whole mess exposed the limits of Samsung's vertical empire. The very strategy that made them a giant was now becoming a cage.
Okay, so you've got this fire raging inside the company, but it's not happening in a vacuum. A massive global trend is pouring gasoline all over it, and that trend is the rise of AI.
See, here's the thing. If you want to compete in the age of AI, you absolutely need the most advanced computer chips on the planet. And building the factories, the fabs, to make those chips costs an unbelievable amount of money. It's not a competition anymore. It's an arms race, and the weapon of choice is billions and billions of dollars in capital.
So how much money are we talking about? To fund its side of this arms race, Samsung is planning to spend over $35 billion. Let that sink in. That's in a single year. It's a massive, massive bet on the future of their semiconductor business.
And just look at where all that cash is going. More than 80% of it is being pumped directly into the semiconductor division to chase the AI boom. And that leaves the famous mobile division, the one making the Galaxy phones, feeling, as analysts put it, cash-starved. The profit engine is demanding all the fuel, which means the rest of the company is basically running on fumes.
So, all of this, the internal fighting, the broken strategy, the incredible cash squeeze, it all leads to this moment. Samsung's leadership is backed into a corner, and they have to make a choice between two very, very different futures for the company.
So, which way do they go? On one side, you've got what you could call the hard path. They could force the mobile division to use the in-house chips, no matter what. Sure, it would guarantee the factory a customer and help it get back on its feet, securing Samsung's independence for the long haul. The problem? In the short term, you're almost certainly looking at worse phones, terrible reviews, and tanking sales. Then, there's the soft path. Let the mobile division act like a normal customer and just buy the best chip on the market, period. This protects the flagship phone, but it could starve their own chip factory of its most important client, maybe even turning it into a legacy business that just slowly fades away.
This whole thing really boils down to one incredibly difficult question. And now, we're putting you in the CEO's chair. There's no easy answer here, and honestly, the future of one of the world's most important tech companies is hanging in the balance.
So, what matters more? Do you protect the product that everybody knows and loves, even if it means weakening the very foundation of your company? Or do you protect the factory that builds the future, even if it means damaging your brand today? That is the Samsung dilemma.